When you want Chicago's classic hits, turn to 94.7 WLS. For traffic and weather info, tune in to 890 AM WLS for traffic and weather first on the fives when you need it most.
When you see news happening, call the 89 WLS News Tip Hotline. Help make 89 WLS the most plugged-in news department in Chicago. See it, say it. The WLS News Tip Hotline, 312-236-0507. We've got news coming up. John Cass, Lauren Cohn.
Hey, 630 says, John Cass, you were hot.
Not so hot?
Not so hot.
And then another one says,
your name right.
From 708, Lauren, has Dan Proft asked you to lunch yet?
I don't know. Maybe we should text Dan Proft.
Okay, that's WLSAM. Text to 68683. Lauren, we're moving on away from the food porn, and I'm sorry I said fat porn because during the break I misspoke, and during the break I found out what fat porn was, which really creeped me out. I feel like taking a picture of a cheeseburger right now. But there's other news to report, and I'd like you to tell us about it.
So if you're bored...
Which I am right now.
And you're incredibly... Thank you, I'll leave now. And you're incredibly depressed. Are you depressed? Is the answer to that you should be able to drive drunk? What do you think?
I don't think driving drunk is ever a good idea.
Correct.
But there are, I guess, isolated places. I'm thinking Newfoundland. How's that going to bother anybody?
Right. So a group of politicians in Kerry, Ireland, want the locals who are bored and suffering from depression to be able to drive drunk or tractor ride drunk to the local pubs because they think it would help them.
So, in other words, I can come after my day of working hard in the fields, go take a shower, go down to the local pub, have a few pints.
Get on your tractor.
Get on my tractor and drive
home. What's wrong with that?
So there was support for this idea.
So there was support for this, except for the Justice Ministry said, what, are you crazy? Not happening.
I don't know. I think...
You know what I think it is? I think it's that they're because of the economy, there isn't as much pub business in Kerry, Ireland.
No. I think that we have to reconsider, because drunken driving is bad.
Absolutely.
We know this, right? On the other hand... Not being drunk sometimes is bad too, because say you're a newspaper man and you have a column and you don't want to talk something, the kids are aggravating you, and you want to hit the tavern, but you can't now. You can't even have
you got to get
alcohol in your breath, right?
You got to get someone to drive you home.
There's no local. I live in the suburbs now. There's no walking distance tavern, right? So I've got an idea. Instead of the tractor, donkeys.
Ride the little climb up on the donkey.
In Greece, in our village, Rizas in Arcadia, the most beautiful village in the world, there's not any donkeys anymore. I think there's one left. But a few years ago, before the tractors came in, everyone had one. Wouldn't this be perfect? You go to the local pub, you have a few pints, then you I could get on my donkey, and it would take me home.
Would you be able to get up on the donkey?
Yeah, it's just like you have to balance. They're not.
So you're tipsy. You're not really drunk.
There's nothing like a big fat columnist on a tiny little donkey, a little guy with their little feet going tick 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 tick. They have very quick feet, taking me home.
And then the donkey's in control. You're not in control.
Right, and they can't. Are you going to hit by donkey? You're not going to have donkey crashes.
So you suggest that we get donkeys to Kerry, Ireland.
Not only in Ireland, everywhere.
And let them bring it up again at the next council meeting.
I think, I live in Western Springs, in the western suburbs. You can have chickens, right?
Right.
So why not have a donkey too? Everybody in Chicago, you could have a donkey, go out, get on your donkey, blast it.
Because donkeys would do really well on the Dan Ryan trying to get you home in the snow.
Well, going up Dearborn with a donkey, donkey, you could sing. Anyway, let's hear Catherine on the Kennedy. Catherine, I hope you're sober.
I am sober. Hey, but you know what? That's a good idea. They could change the bike lanes to donkey lanes in the evenings.
And would they not also give employment? to the political workers who don't have anything to do
Right.
with a shovel and a scoop.
No, the drunk driving laws in Ireland are so punitive. I mean, it is thousands of dollars, loss of license. They really do not go out.
And what happened to the pub business? Because everyone likes the idea of, I can't wait someday I'm going to go to Ireland. I'm going to go to Innisfree.
And that's the problem. There are no more
local
local
pubs. I don't even know
pubs.
if there's Innisfree, but I'll go there. What?
Well, the local pubs, you know what, there's a real big taxi business, taxis. And the kids will take the taxis everywhere. But, a lot of I think they're mostly talking about the pensioners that don't really have a lot of money and or consider that income disposable.
These men have been digging in the fields and working hard all day. We're going to come. Right. We're going to come back. Thank you. We're going to come back to more of the drunken farmer issue, and also my new plan that the Lauren Cohn, John Cass, yes, they are hot plan, which is donkeys in Chicago and everywhere. That way, maybe you could rent them, like a pub could rent them. No, then they'd have to know how to get home. Everyone have one? We could ride on them?
Put a GPS on the donkey.
Oh, I'd like to have a few, and then give me a few scotch and sodas, and I could ride my donkey home safely. John Cass, Lauren Cohn, we're taking your calls and texts, 591-8900. This is WLS 89 AM.
Coming up today at 2 on Rowan Roper, there's a chicken wing crisis in America, and we're all plucked.
Plus, Star Wars has a new director, and I'm in Geek Heaven.
Rowan Roper, afternoons, 2 to 6, 89 WLS.
89 WLS, Lauren Cohn, she's hot. John Cass,
You're
I'm
hot.
And
it's Friday. Everybody's hot on
People
Friday.
are stuck in their cars, and we've come up with a great idea, thanks to the Republic of Ireland. They don't want farmers driving drunk, but our idea that sustainable transportation, Cohn and Cass style, is to everyone have donkeys. We could ride the little gaiduraikia, say it, gaiduraiki, little donkey, and they will take you home.
And then you feed them. They have a nice warm place.
Put them in your backyard and give them some hay, and then take them out again the next night. Eli, you're on the phone from Buffalo Grove.
Hi, guys. I absolutely love you guys. Lauren Cohen, you should stay there the whole time and don't ever leave the station.
Oh, Eli, thank you.
And you too, John Cass.
Oh, I can stay too? Thank you.
You're very, very welcome. You guys are the best. You know what? What I want to say is you're right. People should not drink and drive. And in my country, I'm from Israel, back in the days, everybody was riding donkeys. So
isn't that the best thing? My grandfather had one. My grandfather also got a mule, and he named it Truman after the president who gave him a mule. And then that mule obviously kicked my father in the head and turned him into a Republican. But that was another story.
Yeah. One of my friends many, many years ago, about 3 weeks before he got married, unfortunately, he took his girlfriend. They went to a bar drinking, and I don't want to tell you the result.
Oh.
He got killed. She survived. And ever since, I'm not, you know what, they should never drink and drive. Take a cab, take a taxi, I don't care.
Eli,
I love you guys.
Eli,
have a great weekend.
Eli, take a donkey. Eli, take a donkey, right?
You got it. Let's get him.
All right, thanks, Eli. Okay, now we have Joe and Carol Stream.
Your neighbor has a donkey?
The next block from me, for a couple of years, somebody had a donkey in the yard. Now, I never seen them riding it.
They're great when you're loaded.
Yeah, it just started whinnying. I'm like, is that a donkey? And now they have a rooster. So
I want a rooster, a donkey, and I also want a pet Neanderthal, but we can't make those. Thanks a lot, Joe. I think that if we have bike lanes in Chicago, we should have donkey lanes.
I think it's a great idea.
Because donkeys won't kill you, and they're very gentle, and you can ride them when you're blasted.
I think you should fly over to Cary, Ireland, John, and go to the next meeting.
I'm gonna bring some Greek donkeys and give them to Rahm Emanuel as a present. This is John Cass, Lauren Cohn, 89 WLS. We're taking your calls, 591-8900. Back after this.
You're pretty high and far out, aren't you? What kind of kick are you on, son?
89 WLS.
I love that music. It makes me feel like getting drunk and riding my donkey back home. That's our plan. Sustainable transportation, and that way you can go to the pubs. We need it. Everyone should have a donkey in their house.
It's a great plan, John.
What's coming up next?
Hey, coming up, Congressman Peter Roskind's going to be here to talk about the debt and government spending, so you want to stick around for that.
And we'll have more after this. 89 WLS, John Kess, Lauren Cohn taking your calls. 591-8900.
From Chicago to the North American continent.
In our 89th year, entertaining Chicago. 89
WLS.
Defendants include Bobby Seale, Jerry Rubin, Abby Hoffman, Tom Hayden, and Rennie Davis.
Charles Philip Arthur George, wilt thou have this woman for thy wedded wife?
Walter Payton, the NFL's all-time leading rusher, dies of bile duct cancer